This is Taron Cochrane. I'm sitting here for BuzzCity talking to BD Willoughby. How's it going?
Great. Feeling great.
So, for those people out there who may not know you, who exactly is BD Willoughby, and what drives your musical creativity?
BD Willoughby, it's a stage name. It's one I've just adopted. I've been starting to get into playing roots music, starting a solo career, and so I started playing under this BD Willoughby name. It's actually my grandmother's maiden name is Willoughby, so I took it from her name, and it just seemed like it was time for me to go on a solo career. I used to play in the Library Voices as the lead guitarist, and that was great. But I'm heading away to school, wanted to play my own music, so I developed my own repertoire now, and I'm lucky enough to play with some great musicians like the Lazy MKs and Anna Rose. In terms of what drives my creativity, I guess it's different at different times. Times in my life, you go through the breakups, and there's the breakup songs, and other times get involved in politics. I ran for the Green Party once, and so wrote some political songs then. And it's sort of a mix. Whatever's going on in my life, I guess it gets reflected in my music.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So what are some of the other musical roads you've traveled? Other collaborations, other artists you've worked with? What are some of them?
Yeah, it's been quite a ride, I guess, in Regina. Started out just as a solo artist, playing kind of folk songs at protest rallies. Protest rallies against the Iraq War. I had a peace song that I played there. And then just started getting in with some other musicians around town. Played for a while with a band called the Harmoniums. It evolved and has kind of taken quite a turn from this sort of post-rock instrumental band into now we're a curling team, and we're called the Rusty Howards. So that's a bit of a different take on it. But we're still playing with those guys. I had the whole couple of years stint with the Library Voices, and that was great. Just learning a lot about how to tour, how to record, how to be a musician. And so I learned a lot there, and now it's working with some of these jokers like the Lazy MKs, stage left there, and having the honor to play with these great musicians.
Perfect. Your first EP, Sunrise, you actually just recently, not too long ago, had 3 albums released in one night.
That's
which
right.
Is great. I've never even heard of that before, but you did it. You had a live album, you had the Sunrise EP, and you also had the Rusty Howards.
That's right, yeah.
So how did that all come about? What transcribed, or what made you think, you know what, I'm going to put out 3 tonight?
I think there was a part of me, I'm starting school soon. I'm actually leaving on Tuesday, so 3 days from now, leaving on Tuesday in a U-Haul, heading out to the coast, trying to get going on grad school. So maybe one day I'll have a steady job, I guess, that pays the bills. And knowing this sort of looming responsibility was coming, I thought I really want to get my music that I've accumulated over the years out to the public, because I don't know, I like the idea of sharing it with people. And so started to talk with a few people. The curling guys, they were easy sell. We played every Thursday this past winter, so after a game we'd go up and play a song, maybe write a song about how bad we played. So that kind of developed from there at Thursday nights. And the collaboration for the live album was kind of neat. Glenn Suter and I collaborated with that on that project, and it happened to be this year the 40th anniversary of Earth Day, which was significant, and they had a call out for artists to get involved in Earth Day and do something to mark that occasion. And so we were thinking, what can we do? We thought about a studio album, but then we thought, well, let's have a concert on Earth Day, record it, and get some of our sustainability songs out there. So we did that, and then at the same time, I was in the studio recording this EP and starting to work on the full length. There's a full length also coming down the pipe in the spring. But yes, there's a lot going on, and I don't think I realized how much work that would take. And neither did my girlfriend. And, yeah, there was a lot of late nights and
labor of love.
Labor of love, yeah, getting it out there.
So the Rusty Howards, do you guys plan to do any Bonspiel circuits? Or
yeah, that's we've got this goal. We want to play the big show. We want to get to the finals. Play alongside guys like Brad Gushu and play at the Briar. And we don't know if that means on the ice, which could be a longer shot than actually maybe sitting up front with our guitars and playing at the Briar. So I think, yeah, we're going to keep playing Bonspiels. It'll be slowed down a bit because I'll be in Victoria these 8 months, but I think Christmas time I'm already talking about having a big show with maybe 4 bands which I'll be in each of them. I don't know if that's a good idea.
Hey, why not 4 bands if there's 3 albums, right? So on your Sunrise EP, you have some collaborations on there as well.
That's right, yeah.
Who's all on that, and how did that all come about?
Yeah, it's a kind of a nice mix. So the title track, Sunrise, is a collaboration with, I guess it's about half of the Library Voices who are currently in that band. And it seemed to me a nice transition to go from the Library Voices into my solo stuff for the song. It was kind of a blending of the two. I played the song a few times live with them at places like Nest Creek Folk Festival, and it was always this sort of shared song. So it was nice to have them involved. And then I've been starting on this new road with the Lazy MKs, and they'll be featured on the full length. And so one of the songs that we started working on ended up on the EP, I Am Not Alone. It seemed to fit well there, sort of kind of more folky influence, I guess. And I even had another collaborator who's out in the audience today, Kieran Conway, who used to play in the symphony, and I was looking for a cello player, and I knew Kieran from playing soccer with him, so I kind of put the call out, and I thought, I've seen a picture of him with a cello. I think he plays cello. And then
Unless you're just a big fan of him.
I didn't really know. As I emailed him, I said, would you play cello? And so he said, yeah, sure. And so he came, and I said, well, yeah, have you played much? He said, well, I played in the symphony for 7 years. I'm like, oh, yeah, you'll do. Yeah.
So we just finished watching you play at the Folk Festival here today.
Oh, yeah.
So what are some of the collaborations, or what are some of the events you played at the Folk Festival today?
So today, it was really nice. I feel it was a great note to head out of town on, playing a full show of my own with the Lazy MKs and the Ooh La La Singers. So there's 3 great female singers, Deb Tuchelt, Samra Salou, and Anna Rose, who were all up on stage with me. And it was really nice. I had some family there, I had some friends, people I've known in Regina over the years, and to see everybody out there and to be playing at the Regina Folk Fest was a pretty special moment.
Going back quickly to your Sunrise EP, on the cover of it, there's a photo of you standing outside the Red Fox Church.
That's right,
which is just south of Indian Head.
That's right, yeah.
Now, ironically, you have your own record label because you must find yourself bored a lot with nothing to do, and you have Red Fox Records. Is that a tie-in there? Or?
That's right, exactly, yeah. So my grandfather used to live just a few miles east of the Red Fox Church, and Red Fox School used to be across the road. He owned that school for a while, used it as a bin, and I thought it had a nice ring to it. It's also, I don't know if you know the town Sendaluda.
Yeah.
So there's Wolseley, Indian Head, Sendaluda, and my family's all from sort of around that area. And Sendaluda is First Nations word for Tale of the Red Fox. So it's kind of a nice tie-in that the whole area is sort of the Red Fox district. So I like the idea of the Red Fox Records coming out of there.
What's do you have any plans for Red Fox Records for releasing stuff on there?
Well, I'm going to look. The full length could possibly be coming out on Red Fox Records, but I might shop it around too. If anyone else wants to do a bit of work for me, then I might put their record label on the CD.
So, besides today at the Folk Festival, you've also been on community radio
right.
as well. You were on the front page and a feature in the Arts and Entertainment section of Regina Leader Post.
Yeah.
So how does it feel to have all this exposure all of a sudden just kind of explode, right?
Yeah, well, it's a nice feeling. It's funny, these things sort of just come together. And I think I had a fortune cookie, actually, just around the time I played that 3-album release, and it said that things will all sort of come together, but don't worry, it doesn't happen all the time. Which is like, that's true. It's like, this is great. I'm getting all this exposure, getting to play lots of shows, release the albums, but at the same time, it's you don't get a lot of sleep. So you can probably look forward to a bit of quieter time, and then the spring, I hope I can start drumming up the support again, and I hope for a Canadian-wide tour.
Well, that'd be good.
Yeah.
So how do you feel about, obviously, with your success, you've obviously inspired other musicians out there to a degree. So how does that make you feel to know that your hard work is paying off and getting somebody else to...
That's pretty cool. And it's neat, because I heard from one fellow, actually Deb Tuchelt, one of the Ooh La La singers, is dating a guy named Kirk, I was getting it wrong. Kirk, who used to be Fight the Monster, I know a band that used to be playing around town in Regina. And I used to go to Fight the Monster shows and think, like, my God, like, this is great stuff. I love these guys. I wish I could do stuff like this. And the other day, Kirk said of my stuff, he's like, oh, I wish I could write songs like that. I'm like, what? What do you mean? I'm like,
everything's going 180.
Yeah, you're my hero.
So where can people find out more about you?
Well, so far I've got a few things going. The CBC Radio 3 site, MySpace page, I'm going to be developing a website. It's not up yet, but my sister's husband is she just got married, as you know.
Yes, I do. Yeah,
a few weeks ago. Yeah. So I'm going to start to bug them. They know how to make websites. So I'm looking towards a website, which could be
perfect.
Good. Yeah.
Where can people buy the Sunrise EP?
Sunrise EP. If you're looking for it in Regina, Buy the Book is a good place to look. Buy the Book is a secondhand bookstore run by Chris Perpick, who is the bass player in Lazy MKs. So he's going to have there the Sunrise EP, the live CD called Seeds, and the Rusty Howard album. They're all for sale there. So if you want to, it's just on 13th, stroll by, buy a book, get a CD.
So any sound words of advice before we go?
Words of advice. I heard one thing from a friend of mine once, and he said, "Don't look back, you might lose momentum." So
perfect.
That's for you folks. Don't look back, you might lose momentum. I'm gonna try to live with that. I'll miss a lot of people around Regina when I head up for school, but I'll just kind of try to keep going and make my way back here. I think I'll come back around.
Well, thanks again for doing an interview.
Oh,
and
I appreciate
best
it.
of luck with school. Best
Thank
of luck
you.
with your career. And obviously we'll be hearing more from you soon.
I hope so.
Maybe you'll have a 4 CD release night.
Well, that's...
Never know. Time will tell, right?
For my 40th birthday.
Perfect.
That was the 30th birthday, 3 CDs.
We'll keep our eyes out.
Thanks, Taron.
Cool. All right. Thank you very much.